Good morning and welcome to the daily weather operations brief. This morning, seeing mostly cloudy skies and light winds, and for today, expecting to see a slightly breezy day develop with dry conditions expected throughout the working hours with some slight chances of passing showers later in the day. Overall, should be a pleasant day in the making, and looking at our radar here from the most recent scan, we can see that we do remain free of any reflectivity, at least in the local area, and again, expecting that to continue throughout the day and into the afternoon. Now, if we take a look at this morning's surface analysis chart here, we can see that high pressure is sitting off to our east and generally overhead, and that does look to shift further southeast and push further into the western Atlantic. And that is as we see a low pressure passing to the northwest of the local area and moving through the Great Lakes region. And as it does such, we will see a tightening pressure gradient between that high and that low to the northwest, and that is what is going to draw in those breezy conditions overhead, likely seeing a wind advisory, likely seeing a good chance of one to fire off throughout the day, and we should see those winds picking up in the next hour or so. And later in the afternoon, seeing a weak boundary move through the area from the northwest, and that is what will bring in those chances of a few sprinkles. However, overall, most of the guidance does show those showers falling apart a good bit north of the region, so likely remaining dry, but nevertheless a slight chance of seeing a sprinkle. Otherwise, for the day, seeing southwesterly winds, and that will result in some warmer temperatures for this afternoon and bring us into what will feel like a late spring, early summer afternoon with highs in the 80s possible. Looking at our current weather observations out on the field, seeing some elevated cloud cover broken between 20 and 25,000 feet and unrestricted visibility, seeing winds out of the south-southwest at about 11 knots with a temperature at 60 degrees and a relative humidity at 90%. And if we look at the most recent image of satellite imagery, we can see that upper level cloud cover streaming in overhead. Might see a brief period of clearing here in the next hour or so, but then we see that boundary pushing in from the northwest and cloud cover associated moving into the area. For the model run here today, going with the HER high-res model on the 24-hour loop, and we can see those scattered showers kind of streaming throughout the area, but generally much of that activity falling apart before it gets to the shore here. So anticipating a largely dry day with most areas to the north picking up the rain, if any. And for our 24-hour forecast here, seeing partly to mostly cloudy conditions for a majority of the day and into the evening, seeing cloud cover build with that passing frontal boundary, that weak boundary, and seeing a yellow on the board for a slight chance of seeing that passing shower. And over the next hour or so, seeing those winds increase and get near wind advisory criteria. So likely seeing a wind advisory go into effect here shortly. And then as we move into the evening, seeing those winds gradually taper off to be southwesterly between 5 to 10 knots to round out the day, along with some clearing skies. And looking at the short-term weather outlook here, we have greens across the chart here. Tuesday looking to be partly to mostly cloudy and a high in the low 80s. Tuesday night, similarly, partly to mostly cloudy and a low around 60. And then Wednesday, once again, partly to mostly cloudy and a high in the mid-80s. That is going to conclude the daily weather operations brief. We'll be back at 10 o'clock with the 7-day outlook, and hope everyone has a great Monday.